Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. This is episode 5, playing as the Soviet Union in the modern day. Millennium Dawn is the modern day mod for Hearts of Iron 4. And if you are new to the series and you're just picking up on this video, the link is in the description below to take you back to episode 1 so you can get caught up with what's happening. We just finished in the last episode helping win the communist revolution in Italy. So now we have a member of our faction in Italy that's one of the most significant members of my faction. And if we go ahead and take a look at the factions map mode, you can see it's basically me as the Soviet Union. We've got Sweden and Italy, and that's really about it. Except for, of course, we've got what is this right here? Latvia. So that's about it, really. There are several other prominent communist nations, but none of them really willing to join my faction. India is communist. Pakistan is communist, which is kind of interesting that those two normally rivals both have the same ideology. Spain, though a member of NATO, is communist. Poland is communist. However, none of them are really in a place where I can really do much with them. Somebody mentioned Cuba. Cuba is actually social democrat, not a member of a faction, and really not in a position for me to be able to do anything with them. So my options are kind of limited right now. I started looking at all the European nations to see if there was anybody who had a decent amount of communism in them, that I could use that to help start a coup there, just as I had done in Italy, and there really aren't. So anybody I'm going to get communism going with, it's basically have to be done from scratch. The problem with the countries that are already communist is I can't get them to join my faction, and of course I can't get a coup going there because they're already communist. So it's almost in my best interest to just maybe start a war somewhere and see if that helps get some of these communist nations on my side. But I'm a little concerned that if I go too crazy on expansion, that NATO's going to jump in, and I just don't feel I'm quite to the place yet where I can take on NATO. So I've got to think carefully about what I want to do. I'm going to take a little time, see what world events unfold, and as this episode progresses, I'll probably go ahead and decide what it is that I want to do next. So we'll see what happens. All right, July of 2005, something happened here. United States embraced reform. That just must be whatever their current national focus is. Let's go ahead and continue down this path, working on our Navy and our fighters. Well, we're just going to kind of focus on everything with the military right now. I've begun to boost communism in Romania, which has drawn attention from the rest of the world. Suddenly, places like Canada and Liberia, Nepal, and Venezuela are improving relations. I also noticed that tiny little Moldova here is being guaranteed by the United States, of all people. So, obviously, we're not probably going to get into any dust-ups with them. I'm not going to justify try to take them out. In the meantime, I could probably go after some more of the former Soviet republics. I'm thinking maybe Kyrgyzstan's an easy one to go after. The mountains are going to make this kind of tricky, but I'd like to have access down into Afghanistan and Pakistan for any potential fights that I need to get into. So I'm thinking about that, maybe. But right now I'm kind of lying low, just building my military. Remember, several episodes ago I said that before I got into any scraps with a major nation, I wanted to have at least 200 divisions. I'm getting close to that. I'm at around 160, 165 now. And I'm starting to build up enough military factories to where I can really get my units out into the field, and I'm pretty well fully reinforced at this point, all except a few things that I need here and there. So I'm feeling better about my military situation. We're just going to have to decide where we go next. September of 2005, not a lot happening right now. A couple of things I wanted to update you on that I'm doing. Continuing to boost communism popularity in Romania. It is now at 10%. So it's happening slowly but surely. I also have begun boosting in 2 other places that had basically no communism. One is Austria, which is now at 1% and going up by 0.07 per day. And also the big fish, Germany. So I've got them up to 2%, and that's going up 1% every 10 days. So we're thinking about those 2 nations. That would basically give me a new Holy Roman Empire of friends right here in the center, with Germany, Austria, and of course already Italy in my faction. I feel like that would be enough for me to go ahead and launch wars into the rest of Europe and take on NATO. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm also continuing to churn out divisions and build up more military factories so we can have a very strong army when that time comes. So we're going to build up. We're going to eventually have coups in Romania, Austria, and Germany. Once that all happens, then we're going to be ready, and I think we'll go to war with the rest of Europe. So let's take it as it comes. November 2005. Let's take a look at how communism is growing in our three target nations. Romania is now at 14%. Austria is at 6%, and I would guess Germany's probably right about the same, 6%. Yep. In the meantime, the other thing I'm doing is I'm constructing a lot of infrastructure improvements in this area here so that I can get supplies flowing effectively into the places that I need them to. Military factories continue to be churned out one after the other. I think I'm probably going to have to start a third thread of main battle tanks here pretty soon, Mark 1s, so that we'll just be able to continue to pump out a ton of main battle tanks as needed. 11th, now the 12th of December of 2005, our national focus is really, there's very little that is of great help to me that I'm working on right now. There's not a lot of options as far as where I can go. I'm mainly just focusing on my military now. I'm going to start boosting up my Navy. So I'm building infrastructure here in Crimea, and then I'm going to start building some naval dockyards there. I've only got 9 naval dockyards at the moment. Maybe 10, I don't remember. 9. So let's kind of double or even triple that, get it up to maybe like 27, and I can start pumping out a decent amount of naval units. I've got all the steel in the world, so there's really no reason I shouldn't be building a big navy with all the steel that I have available to me. I've also gone ahead and started ramping up to a coup in the northern part of Romania, and here's why. It takes about a year to get that coup going. Communism is at 17%. I don't need communism to be immensely popular in Romania. I just need them to have a toehold to where I can jump in and help them win the war. So as long as they'll probably be at 25% or so by the time that coup is ready to jump off, which will happen right at the beginning of 2007, just about 13 months away. So the thing with coups, too, is that they are really expensive on political power. They take a lot of political power to do. So I want to get that one started now so that by the time we get that coup in Romania, I'll be able to start building up to a coup in Austria, which will then give me the kind of knocking on the door of Germany that I need to be able to get that coup going. So it's a long, kind of tedious process, but it's an important one that I want to make sure I do the right way. So a little change I'm going to make here. I'm just updating my infantry divisions, adding some more light mechanized and mechanized. That keeps it at the combat width of 20, but should make it a little more mobile and help me to rely a little less on the need for modern infantry equipment, which I've already got a ton of anyway. So now we're going to switch over to producing more mechanized and light mechanized instead. All right, so end of April 2006, we've got Eastern ports. So these national focuses that I've been choosing have actually been helping to build up the number of fleet ports that I have, along with my construction that I have currently going. So let's take a look at where we are now. We're now at 21 naval dockyards. Started out with 9, very quickly got up to 21. So I'm building some Corvette 3s, some Destroyer 2s, some Missile Cruiser 2s. Once I complete my research on Submarine 3 and Carrier 3, I'll start building some of those as well. And I'm also focusing on my battle fleet concentration. That's my naval doctrine. And Modern Blitzkrieg is basically going to finish out my land doctrine. We're also inching toward that coup in Romania. Let's take a look at where things stand now with that. Political party, communism is at 20%. It's growing very slowly, but that's okay. That's not a concern for me. We're just waiting for January of 2007 to roll around so we can make this happen. I'm going to probably have to start thinking about getting the coup going in Austria. That's, of course, going to cost me some political power that maybe I don't have, because it takes a half a point a day. So within a couple of months, I'd be out of political power. So I may need to wait a little while before I do that. I might have to wait until the coup is complete in Romania before we can start queuing up the next one. July 2006, I've gone ahead and added a new advisor, which gives me a plus 10 to 10% to political power gain. So now instead of gaining 0.08 per day, I'm up to 0.30 per day. So that little boost, while simultaneously boosting the ideology of communism in 3 separate nations and staging a coup in one, is actually going to be very helpful moving forward. That's going to free me up to be able to do just a little bit more. It looks like we're about to complete our carrier program, national focus. So I think we'll probably go to Navy Doctrine 1. We'll continue working down that since we're focusing a lot on the Navy right now. And just taking a look at this, we're up to 24 naval dockyards. I've got several more. I've got 11 more in Kaliningrad that I'm working on right now. I believe that's right here. So we're just pumping out the Navy right now. As soon as we get another month in, we'll be ready to start building some more submarine 3s. And we're just waiting for January to come. All right, I think I'm close enough now to the coup in Romania getting going, and I have enough extra political power being built up that I can go ahead and start queuing up the coup against Austria. And we're going to do that right here, right on the border with our troops in Italy. So let's go ahead and get that ball rolling. We'll see how long that's going to take. It's going to happen in September, so not too far off, another 13 months. And communism is at 17% now in Austria. Let's see where it is in Germany. It's at 20% in Germany. It'll start growing a little more slowly now. And there's our submarines. So we're getting things moving now. Things are rolling. They're going to be happening a little bit faster. I don't know what this is here, but torpedo attack bonus for our subs. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to go ahead and start queuing up these submarines. Now we've got 27 naval dockyards. So we'll go ahead and start getting some of those going, and just going to continue to pump out these naval dockyards as quickly as I can. So we're into December of 2006, about a month away from the coup in Romania, about 8 months away, 9 months away from the coup in Austria. Up to 32 naval dockyards now, 110 military factories. I've got 185 divisions in the field. Very soon to get to that magic number of 200 that I've been hoping for a long time now. And from there, we're obviously going to keep on pushing up toward 300. My carrier 3s will be done here in a couple of months. So a lot happening and a lot about to happen as well. All right, happy 2007. It is January 5th. We're about to get this coup going. The communism, it's a good thing that I did, because communism is actually going down in popularity. Well, now it's starting to go back up again, but for a while it was going down. They must have been working against it. So here we go. Soviet Union has successfully staged a coup in Romania. The fire of revolution now burns. Romanian Union goes to war. Obviously, not a great deal of support in their own country, but we're going to invite the Romanian Union to our faction. And of course, now we've got to get the support up high enough, or the world tension up high enough to where we can join this war. We're obviously not there yet. We need world tension at 50%, so let's do the magic thing that always gets world tension up. Let's start justifying a war goal against the United States. We're going to conquer Maine. Thank you. There we go. Let's go ahead and join this war. What do you mean they will not accept? How could they not accept? My goodness. We ought to be able to do this now, right? I cannot believe they won't. Oh, it's positive and negative are almost identical. Oh boy. Okay, so what we've got to do is we've got to do something to boost the relations just a little bit. Let me see if there's a decision available for that. Seek Romanian friendship. Romanian Union. There we go. So let's do that. That should boost it enough to be able to join the war. No? Come on. Despite their desperate need for help, they're not going to do it. So we're going to have to improve relations to get this going. In the meantime, I am going to go ahead and move this army in. Let's go ahead and cancel their initial, what they had going. 3 divisions. All right, so let me get this all worked out. Okay, so in the meantime, let's see what we can do to help them. We're going to send them 10,000 AK-74s because I just got those sitting in storage anyway. So they've accepted that. I'm sending my 24 divisions down in here. But man, I just can't believe I've got to cancel my... What do you mean? I'm not in the war. Yeah, come on. They're already in my faction. They will not let me join the war. I guess they figure they can do this on their own. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the war looks like. Romania's got between 14 and 24 divisions. The Romanian Union's only got 3. They have 0 chance of winning this war on their own. They're going to have to do something to let me in this thing. So once that happens, we'll come back, I guess. Well, that's interesting. I couldn't get Romania to call me to arms, but Latvia is going to do it for me. So there we go. We're finally in the war. Now let's go ahead and very quickly go ahead and cancel this war justification. We don't need that to be happening. Sorry, President Bush, did not mean to alarm you there, sir. All right, let's go ahead and deal with this war. Let's get Romania on our side. Start pushing through. This shouldn't take very long, even with just 24 divisions. He just doesn't have the manpower to be able to do anything to stop me. Oh, there's no divisions actually being used in that attack. All right, let's try this again. There we go. Okay, now we're moving in. This will be a very quick war. I don't need too much air power to make this one happen. Already inflicted 16,000 casualties. That's a fourth of his manpower gone in the first days of the war. So very quickly, he's just not going to have the manpower to be able to stand up to me. Looks like Latvia's got some troops down here too. I've lost 808. So we're going to march pretty much unopposed right to Bucharest. In fact, let's just go ahead and send this army that way. The rest of my forces can deal with actually fighting him. We just marched into Bucharest in a matter of hours with no trouble whatsoever. There's my carriers. So let me go ahead and deal with that real quick. Let's see what else we can build as far as our navy goes. Now we're going to just do some upgrades to the carriers. And once this war in Romania is done, we'll go ahead and get in there and start queuing up the aircraft carriers. I only have 1 in my navy. There we go. He's lost about half his army. I've lost 1,000 men. And just as easily as I hoped it would be, we now have a friend in the Romanian Union. Of course, we can go ahead and cancel that Lend-Lease. We'll stop improving relations. We don't need to do that. We've now got a new friend in our faction, and now all eyes turn to Austria and Germany. Austrian coup is going to happen in September of 2007. We're going to go ahead and start queuing up the queue in Germany, where it's also a 20% communist. That's obviously going to be a much bigger war, so I'm going to need to move some more troops over into Italy to get them going. And it looks like I can't stage the coup. Oh, their stability needs to come down first. Okay. So that coup's not going to happen as quickly as I would like it to. But I think this is probably a good stopping point, at least for now. We'll see where we're at on time. I'll go ahead and probably do the coup in Austria to wrap up this episode. Well, there's one thing we can look at here in the rest of the world as we get to March of 2007. Japan has adopted, it should be, Article 9, or maybe it's adapted, I don't know. So now the Japanese government is getting rid of the latter clause, okay, putting fear into the opposition, the former might be next. So they're basically going to put that in perspective, after World War II, Japan was basically in their constitution, they have banned having a military that is capable of offensive military actions. They basically have a defense force, and that's about it. So they're obviously making a change to that. We're going to go ahead and get a Chief of the Navy going on here. Maybe not yet. Let's look at Military High Command. How about Armored Division Attack and Defense? That gets me down to just 17 political power, but I'm gaining a half a point a day. Unfortunately, over in Germany, they're kind of fighting back against the communism support that was building up there. You can see it's at 20.03, and it's going down by 0.01% every day. So basically, my boosting of the popularity of communism is doing just enough to keep it afloat, but not helping it to grow anymore. So there's very little else for me to accomplish with my national focus. So we're actually going to go ahead and start working on something else here, and I think for now we're going to go with naval production. It's going to reduce the production cost of basically every type of naval vessel by 20%. Not that I really need to reduce the cost, because I've got everything I need for that. It's just going to help it to happen a little faster. So we just continue to pump that Navy out faster. I need to get this carrier production boosted up all the way as much as possible, because even where it is right now, it's going to take me a year just to produce one carrier, and I want to produce 5. So we're just going to keep building naval bases, and let's take a look and see where else we can do that. I want to do it in places where I've got a nice amount of infrastructure, because it happens a lot faster that way. I guess we'll go right here next. We're into May of 2007. We're getting close to the coup in Austria. I believe that's in September. Yeah, September 19th. Let's see, Germany. I don't know any way, maybe some of you guys do know a way to reduce their stability, because we just can't start a coup when their stability is as high as it is. It's still at 86%. So the only thing we can do is continue to boost the Communist Party, and it's just not happening right now. So I may have to give up on that dream, although I really don't want to. I may have to look elsewhere, maybe somebody like France. Well, that was kind of unexpected. While other countries have been leaving NATO, Finland has joined. So let's take a look at the current situation as far as factions go. The CSTO, that's mine, the communist nations. We've got Italy, Romania, Soviet Union, and of course Sweden. And that's pretty much it as far as major powers. We've got Latvia up here as well, Lithuania. We've got the Washington Pact, which I believe only contains the U.S. And then, of course, NATO now has Iceland, Canada, Portugal, Spain, France, the Netherlands, and Belgium. Yeah, whatever. And then, of course, there's Czech Republic, Poland, Hungary, and Turkey and Greece. So I've begun the process now of building up communism in France. It looks like we're going to be able to do that. And I think as soon as we get this coup started in Austria, we're going to start building up for a coup in France. And that'll probably be where the war with NATO begins, because I doubt very much I'm going to be able to jump in on the side of a communist France without France's allies in NATO coming to join them. I'm over 200 divisions now, so we're going to get there. I really would have liked to have had Germany on my side before I dove into a war with NATO. I'd like to have one more major world power. So I'll think about that. I'm not entirely sure I'll do it yet. But here we go with Austria. What are we looking at, the 19th or the 17th? 19th. Okay. Then again, who knows? Maybe this war would be the one that kind of brings in NATO as well, even though Austria is not a part of it. All right. Workers' Republic of Austria goes to war. And we can see they've got just a little bit, that half of the country there. They're going to join our faction. Yes. And now, of course, I can't join the war for the same reasons I can never join the war. So once again, we're going to tick off George Bush in the United States over here. Oh, so Finland is now part of the Washington Pact? I thought they had joined NATO. I guess they changed their mind. All right. So there's that. Now let's see if that's enough, or if we're going to have the same problem we had before with joining wars. Yeah, same problem as before. Right at 20. So we've got to do something to boost things up, or get the same, get one of my allies to invite them to the war. Let's go ahead and improve relations, see if that makes a difference. And then once things happen, well, one last thing we'll look at here. Let's look at the situation in this war. So we've actually got 26 to 35 divisions. Austria is pretty powerful. Only 11 divisions on the Workers' Republic side. Man, I didn't realize Austria had that big of an army. So we may need more than just one army of 24 divisions to make this happen. So I've gone ahead and canceled my justification against the United States. I just can't seem to join this war, but it's going okay because all of my other faction members are in the war. They're losing a lot. The Italian Union's lost 46,000 men out of 15 divisions. It's not ideal. We could turn the tide in this thing really quickly if they would just invite me to join, but they just don't appear ready to do that. So apart from me, there's 53 divisions in all of these armies. They're not obviously all there. But Romania being over here on the other side, they're pretty close, but you've got a country in the way from them being able to go after Austria directly. So it's pretty much a stalemate right now. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up right here. I have gone ahead and begun the process of staging a coup in Savoy right down here in France. Right now, communism's at 16% and continuing to climb in France. That's probably going to be the kickoff of World War III. So we'll wrap it up right there. Next episode is going to be really, really interesting as we see how this all shakes down. So let me know your thoughts. If there's anything you think I should do differently or should have done differently, and what you'd like to see moving forward, use the comment section below. I hope everybody has a happy new year. Be watching. There will be kind of an end-of-the-year channel update looking ahead to 2019. I hope everybody has a blessed new year. Be safe as you celebrate, and we'll see you again real soon. Thanks for watching.